Hey, it's Skeletons, and today we're going to be talking about TCM, the 3 killer versus the 4 survivor asymmetrical online horror game based on the very first 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. Remember that I said that because that will be later on important in this video. Now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a game that released in summer of 2023 on August 18th, and in this video I'll be giving my thoughts on this game, reviewing it, should you buy it, and I'll be talking about the current state that this game is in and where it will be going in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to not miss out on more great content like this. So I want to start off by saying that when this game was announced in 2021, I was hyped as hell. I was extremely hyped, man. My expectations were through the roof for this game. I have about 3,000 hours on Dead by Daylight, and I loved Friday 13th. So when I found out Gun Interactive, the same people who made F13, were making this game, my expectations were even higher because they said there will be no lawsuit this time around. This game is here to stay. It's going to be getting content. And with them having a flagship license like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I knew this game wasn't going to die out like literally every other asymmetrical horror game. But with queue times being 10 to 25-minute waits and the player base now dwindling, people are worried in the TCM community if this game is even going to last to the end of 2024, myself included. So what happened? Why is TCM dying within less than 6 months of it being released? Well, the first reason is the lack of content and the meta imbalance. Now, before I talk about the obvious lack of content, I really want to talk about the meta game in this game. It has really changed and gotten worse since the release of this game, in which I really think it's one of the things that's killing this game. You know, like as example, on Family House, before the Leatherface requirement was a thing, it used to be the meta was use Hitchhiker and Cook, and then obviously Bubba because he's required. And a meta in the game can kill a game in most cases when everyone's bringing the same character, the same perks on the same couple of maps, and this game only has 4 maps right now. Like, that's not good at all. That's a problem. But when they made Leatherface no longer required, I feel like that kind of fixed the problem because it added more variety to the gameplay and made it less repetitive, which a meta is. But when the character that you added is paid to win and literally has the power of Cook, Sissy, and Hitchhiker in one, what the hell, for $10.99? And I don't blame people for using these characters. You're supposed to. The only reason I haven't bought them myself personally is because I don't even think they're going to be worth it in a couple of months, because is this game still even gonna have players? Also, I refuse to buy anything that's pay to win in a video game just because of the fact that it's pay to win. Like, I just had a game today. It was a Danny on Slaughterhouse, and he tampered the fuse box and the pressure tank. And then we had the Leatherface camping the fuse escape in the basement. And then the other guy was camping the little valve exit. And then they all end up escaping out the battery. Now, yeah, you could go under this video, get on your little keyboard and comment, oh, you guys are trash. Your team just got outplayed. You weren't patrolling correctly. But the fact that a character for $10 only, he can permanently open multiple exits, that is OP as hell. And the fact that it is behind a paywall, there's no in-game currency, and not to compare this game to Dead by Daylight, those devs aren't any better, but they are definitely doing DLC the correct way. I kind of find it funny. The devs knew they were making an asymmetrical horror game and they were going to be competing with Dead by Daylight before they even programmed the first pixel in this game. So the fact that they're not even trying to price competitively with them, the DLC in Dead by Daylight is $5 for any character, but in TCM, it's way more expensive. Like, you want me to pay how much for a Leatherface skin that should have been in the base game? I find it hilarious how Nicotero Leatherface costs $16, but if you just want to buy Leatherface and DVD, it's only a fraction of the price, not even half. Not to mention the fact that the DLC and DVD literally always goes on sale. And, you know, this is very weird. This is very unlike the devs that were working on Friday 13th at Gun, because I remember at the time when that game was getting content, you know, the new characters and stuff at least were always free. The new Jasons and Survivors. The only thing you had to pay for on Friday 13th was, you know, kill animations and skins. And those were things that added to the game, not pay to win things that you probably need in the game to be successful at it. To be honest, this game really should have been delayed and released in maybe October of last year, 2023, instead of being released in August, because, you know, that's the month of horror, so it probably would have sold better to begin with, and it probably would have had more players around now, and that would have gave the devs more time to put more content in the game instead of just adding and drip feeding this little bit of content we have. All the content we have now should have been in the base game. Literally, Nancy house, Danny and Nancy, all those skins, the bloody skins especially. Like, why are you charging money to put blood on skins when you literally get blood on your character when you kill someone in the game? It doesn't make sense at all. It should have been like a prestige thing like they have in DBD. They could have easily implemented the little challenges they have for the victims to escape a certain amount of times to get a skin. They could have had it to where you get a certain amount of kills as some of the family members and then you get a free bloody skin. But no, I found it very weird at launch how Leatherface was the only family member with skins and none of the other family members had skins for their weapons or their clothes. So anyways, you guys remember in the beginning of this video when I said this game is based on the very first Texas Chainsaw Massacre film? Well, I meant that. Gunn only has the license to the very first Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. What does that mean exactly for the game? Well, if you guys want to play as any of the characters from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Netflix film, or if you want to play on a map from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake films, you can't until the devs get the license for it. That also includes any and every sequel to the original movie, so the devs don't even have the license to the original trilogy of movies. So to everyone who wants Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 content, you're not going to be seeing that this year or anytime soon, because the devs have addressed this problem and they said unless the game does well and they make a lot of money off of it, then they can probably go after these licenses in the future.
Does Gunn want the other films in the franchise, or in some capacity, do they want that in this game? Short answer, yeah. But it's not like I can walk into Walmart and say, yes, I'll take one Texas Part 3, please, and I have it. It doesn't work that way. Multiple people have to say yes. Multiple people have their hand out, meaning you have to pay licensing fee, and then you have to build it. It's like, can you make enough money to offset what it costs to do it? Sometimes the answer is no, but do we want to do it? Absolutely.
So they're rising the prices of microtransactions so they can afford license DLC in the future. I get it. They're not making enough money. They're a small studio, so they need things like that. That's probably why it's also on Game Pass, so the game could have got more exposure. But Game Pass is another one of the reasons why I think this game is dying. Xbox's Game Pass eats at all the game sales of every game that's on the service. Even though Microsoft pays game developers to put their games on Game Pass, they still lose money because whether or not the person who downloads the game still plays the game after it's removed from the service is up to them. Even though some people do end up buying the game after it's removed from Game Pass, or are more likely to buy the game after playing it, not everyone does. Some people exclusively get all their games from Game Pass. And I can assure you that more people played this game for the simple fact it was free on Xbox than they did PlayStation. Coming from someone who plays this game on PlayStation 5, I can tell you I always meet more Xbox players playing this game in my lobbies than PlayStation players. I really believe the timing of it being on the service is what's killing the game, not it just being on Game Pass. Because if it went on Game Pass a year after release, I feel like that would have been fine and would have helped the game actually, because everyone who wanted the game at launch would have bought it. But since it was at launch free on Xbox, everyone who was playing on Xbox got the game for free. So, and if you just use basic logic, why would I buy a game months later after it's removed from the service when it has less players, it still doesn't have a lot of content, and it has a bunch of bugs still? Why would I buy the game for $40 when I pretty much experience everything the game has to offer for free? Pretty sure if you look at the day they remove TCM from the service, the Xbox player base is going to drop drastically. Man, this game has had a very rocky launch. Like, if you think about it, the PC player base have still not recovered from when they first disabled crossplay around launch. A lot of players have not returned to the game after they re-enabled crossplay. And it's still not even full crossplay, and it probably never will be. Crossplay is only available through 9th gen consoles and PC. 8th gen consoles are still segregated from everyone else. Only PS4 and Xbox One players can play with each other, but they can't play with their Series X and PlayStation 5 counterparts. And this is a serious problem because I have a friend that's on PlayStation 4 and I can't play with him for the simple fact because I'm on a PlayStation 5. A lot of players cannot afford or even get their hands on the newer consoles, and I just find it a very bad business move for them to divide the player base like that. I really wonder what the player count and the queue times are like on the last gen consoles. If you play on Xbox One or PS4, comment down below and let me know. But I still do recommend buying the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game if you're interested in it. I will say it is extremely fun to play with people who are on the mic, or if you have friends to play this game with. This game is so much more fun when you're communicating with people. So if you could find someone to be on comms with in this game, you will have a much better time. It is a steep learning curve though, so when you first start playing, you're probably gonna die a lot if you're playing as victim. On the family, it's even a steeper learning curve. I still don't think I've mastered family myself, and I have about 200 hours on the game now. One thing I do hope they update in the future, which they really need to as a quality of life change, when you use your focus ability as any of the family members, sometimes it's so much shit just in your face, outlined in white. Everything is outlined in white that you don't even know what the fuck you're looking at. I always even have a hard time tracking of where the other two of my other teammates are when I'm playing as family. So if they made icons for that or some type of labels when you use your focus ability, maybe different colors for the objectives that you're supposed to be defending and everything else, like blood buckets and stuff, then it'll be easier to see. I feel like that will really help new players and players like me that have a hard time seeing it. There is no real tutorial mode in this game, nothing that is playable. The tutorial that is in the game is shit ass. A game that's difficult to learn in the beginning can scare off new players, so that's probably stunning the growth of this game a little bit. Also, with the rush meta being a thing at an all-time high, I really feel like that hurts new players. It really even hurts me when I'm solo queuing because I hate when there are 3 other people playing together and then they just rush out of an exit and then I'm the last one and then I just end up dying because I barely made it out the basement. So all the killers just focus their attention on me. And that also even hurts new killers because let's say all the victims are rushing, you'll collect 2 blood buckets, they wake up grandpa before the first cutscene is even over, and then they all escape before you even get to set up and guard the exits. They have made updates to slow down the game a little bit, but I still believe they need to do more tweaking because games still go by way too fast. Even before the rush meta, I felt like games were going by way too fast. And that's just a terrible gameplay loop. You wait 10 to 20 minutes just to get into a game just for the victims to escape in the first 2-3 minutes and the game already be over, or you load into a game as victim and then you die in the first 5 seconds. Will this game last the test of time, or will it die out by the end of the year? Well, I do believe this game will last to the 1-year anniversary in August and to the end of 2024, and even longer than that. As long as the game keeps getting content and, you know, maps and characters, stuff like that, then I feel like this game still will have a little small cult following. But I do believe people did think this game would be madly popular like Friday the 13th when it first came out. But even then, F13 didn't have the problems of losing so many players in the beginning of its life cycle. This game is just going to be one of those games with a small player base because it looks like we're not going to get any real content like killers and victims and a new map till early to mid-April. Hopefully all the execution pack microtransactions and overpriced cosmetics holds off the community until then so I can have someone to queue up with. And they gotta get rid of all the glitches. Now, bugs and glitches are in every game at this point. Some are minor. Some are game breaking and can ruin the game. Some bugs can kill a game. Some bugs can even put a stain on a video game franchise and shit. Some bugs are so bad to the point to where the developers are forced to refund everyone their money back. Let me show you a compilation of almost every bug I encountered in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I was just in a family queue and somehow the game glitched and now I'm in a victim queue. Come here, boy! You're mine, Leland. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Hello. I'm going to be stuck like this for the rest of the game. I could probably get this generator off.
You can do this. Think.
They didn't trap it. Oh no. No! What? What just happened? I'm underground. Did I just go down in the basement? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay.
Hey there, sugar. I told you to stay out of my
Whoop, I'm going down now.
Someone help! Where is it exactly?
I can't interact with motherfucking. Can you like see me?
Oh, sorry to tell you this, but ain't none of you getting out of here alive.
Hello? I don't think she could see me. Whoa! What the fuck? I'm back in the basement?